What's up, Joe? How you doing today, man?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I am good, man. I know I say it a lot, but I love that tortoise at the end. I could just watch him working his way across the beach. Like he's just working hard for his joy. You know, he's like a tortoise. He just wants to get to the ocean. I don't know why, not to swim in it, to relax. You know.
We had a tortoise in our backyard, actually.
Now,
Yeah, a couple
when
weeks
you
ago.
start stories about animals in your yard, it doesn't end well.
I don't know. We had a tortoise. Wait, is a tortoise the one that's no, yeah, tortoise is the land one, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
prefers not so much water. Yeah.
Right. So, I guess it got under the fence. I mean, we've had it around for a while. It's been here since I started living here, and yeah, it just moseys in the backyard sometimes.
Oh, that's cool. That is
Yeah.
a little. We got like a gopher tortoise. I think that would be in your neck of the woods there.
So maybe, yeah, let's go with that. We'll go for tortoise.
Yeah, I think that's probably a safe bet to go with. I would think. Nice. How you doing this week, man?
Okay, yeah, going okay. I'm looking forward to the weekend and Independence Day, and having an extra day to, I guess, do work, because that's what I do on the weekends. Do work.
I saw a meme and it made me think of. I saw a meme, and it's a guy sitting on a bucket, and he's on like his front sidewalk.
Yeah.
And he says, "I'm just out here washing the landscaping rocks until my wife's family leaves."
Yes, we probably make things too complicated. So we get things delivered, and sometimes it's on pallets, right? So
yeah, okay.
But we had this idea where, we're going to keep these pallets and we're going to construct something out of the
You're gonna
pallets.
make a little bar in the backyard with them or some nonsense.
Yeah. So
right.
what we did, was we put one, and it worked pretty well. It was a longer pallet, and we put like plants on it, and it kind of just
that's
we
cool.
put it in the garden, and it worked all right. Like a rustic looking
right
thing. And then we were like, wow, that really worked well.
We're real palletiers here now.
We're gonna do this again, and we're gonna put two pallets together, and we're gonna put it in front of like the water pump bladder thing. So that just sits like in our backyard. So let's put something there, and we'll put plants on there and stuff to make it look nice or whatever. That thing, like, not all pallets are made the same, by the way. This thing was so terrible to work with, and I was so, it took me hours upon hours more than I imagined to put this thing together. So it was like the screws weren't going into the wood. I went and I bought drills, because I thought my drills are bad, or this is bad. So
you bought new drills for your
new drills. Yes, I needed them, but
right. Yeah. Okay.
So I don't know. It was just it was bad. It was a whole day on I guess Sunday that I was doing that. So now that's out of the way. Now I got to get to the other jobs. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I see.
I'd like a weekend off at some point. That would be nice. Nice to have a weekend off.
It would be. If people are just tuning into the show for the first time ever, what are we doing here, Joe? What's going on?
Well, I'm Joe, and this is Adam, and I don't have any snakes. And Adam does, and I got a lot of questions, lots and lots of questions.
There you go. You got it right there.
We get together every Thursday morning. We have some fun. By God, we crack things over our heads, and it's fun. It's great. I
think we should make the purpose of quarter 3 and quarter 4 of 2025 to bring back the expression "by God." Let's put some "by gods" in there, man.
I like "by God." That's pretty good.
Did you say "by God"? We crack stuff over our head.
Yes. Yeah. So we don't really do that. We just have a fun time. We talk to each other, and we also talk to the people on the chat too.
That's true.
They get in here and they whoop it up with us, so it's fun.
Right. Now you got a sharp looking T-shirt there, a little swag from the community, huh?
Yeah, I did. Keeper Kane, he's one of our listeners, and he contacted me and he said, "Hey, would you like a T-shirt?" I said, "Yeah, of course, I'll rep for you on the show." So check out Keeper Kane.
Yeah, so Kane is one of the Patreon members, long time charter member of the top tier. The guys in the tier called the Seniors. If anybody else wants to join that, they can. I don't want to put any spoilers out there. Nothing is finalized, but you might see a little more of the Keeper Kane logo in the future, if you know what I'm saying. Sundog Serpents has taken an opening that came up on the Tuesday night Proper Royals live show. So we got a little space there. I'm not, like I say, nothing's final, but we'll see. We'll see how things go.
Well, that's good. So I was like, hey, I didn't contact you about this, but I was like, it's good to wear the T-shirt or what? But it's always good, right?
Well, I mean, it does require handing out your address and full name, so I don't know. Maybe you've gotten a PO box to receive your swag these days. So.
There's not a lot of swag is coming in. So if you want to send more swag, just contact me through Instagram.
Yeah. And you do.
I think it's called.
It is. That's what the kids call it. Yeah. You can just call it IG if you want. That's pretty hip too.
On the gram.
I have some swag for you when you get up here. Oddly enough, it's not Proper Royals swag, but I have.
Come on,
I know. This morning I was like, damn, I didn't order any shirts. I don't know if I could get them here in time. How many? What's the date of your arrival? Was it like the 18th, 16th, something like that? How many sleeps you got?
I don't know. What is it? So I leave for the entire trip on the 12th. So
right around the corner.
Yeah, and then 2 weeks from now, I'll get to Minnesota, the 18th.
You're coming in on a Friday? I thought you were coming in on Thursday.
Yeah, coming in on a Friday. I
had set aside like time to party on Thursday. All right, that's fine.
I thought I'd get
to the train station on Thursday for you.
Friday, we're coming in the evening, coming to your place, and then we'll have 2 nights in St. Paul, I think.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
But I am traveling, so I'm stopping in Chicago on the way to your place on that Thursday. I think I'm going to be on the train during this show. So
yeah, I might have to roll the dice on a special guest host.
Yeah, you got to find somebody. Maybe I'll call in from the train. Be like, hey.
Our man on the street and on the train. Yeah, cool, man.
So what's happened to you this weekend or this week? Is there what's your one thing? Tell me about your one thing.
Well, I was gonna say, so maybe I'll just do like a 1A and a 1B. I was gonna say your story of the palette inspired me actually. So maybe that's really? Different. Yeah, it did. But my one thing is I love, and I don't know why, these things seem nostalgic to me. And I think it's because I moved so many places that there's certain things that like are normal here, but I only got to experience at certain times in my life in the past.
Okay.
Isn't that redundant when people are like in my life in the past? Like, yeah, it wasn't in the future. Like, all right. Anyway, in my life.
You know what else is funny when people say as a person, like you say, oh, as a person, I think, hey, you're a person. I get
it. As a jaguar, yeah. All right, I'm losing track today.
All right, pallets.
So I've got this thing. There's this room in my house, and it's like they call it like a 3-season room, which really annoys me when I first started here because I was like, why would we pay for that square footage and that space and I can't use it year round? It's just going to turn into like a storage closet. And it's not. And I've actually come to call it the tree house. It's all wood panels out there. It's open air. It looks out on our deck, and I grill on the deck, and there's like there's a pergola, and my wisteria grows up top, and the hummingbirds dart around, and I love it. And I was hanging out grilling out there last night, and then like I say, it doesn't get dark till like late. So after dinner, I'm cleaning up, I'm looking out through the treehouse, and what do I see? But the fireflies are back, man. You could sit in the treehouse and you watch the fireflies dance across the yard, and
Nice.
it's just it just brings me happiness. So I've decided, for all the joy that it brings me while the weather is nice, I will just put up with my wintertime resentment that it's not wasted. It's unused space. So that made me happy. I hope the fireflies are still out when you get here. I don't know about you, but it reminds me of like summertime vacations, because I never had them in Florida. So I had to go to the mountains in North Carolina or be up in Maine or Canada to see them, and I would only see them at like little parts of my life and my time. So the fireflies are out. But what reminded me of your pallet problem, you said it took you hours more and then you had to buy new drills. So I got a little visit from the local town constable at the car wash the other day. Yeah, well, he was very nice. He came to introduce himself. That's Officer Dave, and he was cool. And honestly, what he was stopping by for was to get emergency contact information for the business, which is very reasonable, especially in a small town, and the police, looking out for people. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And while we're chatting it up, he says, and we were outside in the parking lot still at that point. We're chatting it up, and he says, by the way, he looks over at my lawn. He goes, by the way, you're on the list. The warning of the violation is probably already in the mail. I said, yeah, okay. I have yet to ever mow that lawn. So the snow is gone. The lawn is growing profusely. And so I said, well, I'm going to, I'll get it taken care of. And I meant that. So I started calling lawn care services, and man, it's expensive. And I was like, well, I could just, for these prices, I could just do it myself. And then, through the summer, the equipment will pay for itself. I was like, who needs a lawn mower? I'll just get a weed whacker. And then it was like, well, if the grass is like thigh high and you're just going to get tangled. And anyway, cooler heads prevailed, and I just paid the man to get it done, and it's done.
Yeah.
And I didn't buy a weed whacker, and I didn't waste extra hours of my time on the pallet. And now I know that I need to keep it in order to keep the town folk happy. Plus, it's going to look sharp. It looks nice now. It's going to be a whole new era for me.
So this is your house. This is at your house. It's not at the. Oh,
no, this is at the car wash. Yeah.
Yeah, at the car wash. Okay. All right. So so will you get it? You're going to continue to pay for it to be done?
Well, yeah, we got an arrangement to where, the first time to get it in shape. The other thing I had to think about, I could have cut the grass down, but then I would have had to clean it up. Like the stuff was there's a lot of grass. So he got it clean. He got it cleaned up. All of it's out of there. Now, for him to do it every 2 weeks is like a third of actually, it might even be a quarter of the price of the first job.
Oh, okay. All right.
So then it becomes very feasible. It's still a fair number of car washes to get the lawn mowed, and I don't like that, but that's okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You always think that way.
So
how many car washes?
I got to pay for this stuff. I mean, that's how it's got to come from somewhere. So, I had to figure it out, but it was cool. Yeah. We were standing out in the parking lot, chatting it up and all that. And he says, I hear you. Did I hear you're going to have snakes in there? And I said, oh, going to. I do already, because I was in the process of moving in.
Yeah.
I definitely hit him with, do you want a tour? And he was like, yeah, okay, sure. Sounds good. So
you took him around.
Yeah, I took him around, showed him a couple ball pythons, and he was a nice guy and trying and he did
perfect. That's
the payoff. Great. Yeah, the payoff was really good. He goes, this is way less creepy than I thought it would be. I was like, my man, spread the good word.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is. Hey, yes, come in. This is what we were talking about last week, right? Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, don't worry. It's okay. Come on
Yeah,
in.
life's good.
Check it
It's
out. It's fun.
professionally done. Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
So,
yes, yes. Yeah,
anyway,
yeah, yeah. And
that
I'm
was
sure I
there you go.
mean you're always presenting yourself with like a professional air, so it's I'm sure that people meet you and if they've heard that there's a snake guy, they meet you and there's like this is not what I had in mind. No.
I hope so. Although I will say, man, like it's not when I'm in there. Like that day, I'd been in washing dishes and scrubbing poo. I mean, I don't know how professional I was looking that day. Hard working, yes. Professional, I
Yeah,
don't know. We'll see. We'll
yeah.
see.
Yeah.
What about you?
Speaking of that, my grass is growing really, really quickly. And I bought, so we used to pay a service for getting our lawn done. And we had kind of a large yard. So we found a guy who would do it like for cheap. But still, he was coming like every 2 weeks or so
Yeah,
in the summertime. And it was like, and even that was like, oh, maybe you should come every week. And
yeah.
so it was getting expensive. So I bought a riding mower.
You bought a riding mower?
Not this past week. I bought it years ago.
Right. Well, okay, yeah, but I'm still. So you go from this guy's expensive to I'm gonna buy the. Okay, go ahead.
But it's not. It's like you could get better ones. But we've made an investment. We've worked out. Oh, this is going to pay itself off in a year, and blah blah blah. We've had it for like I don't know 5 years probably, but it's starting to fall apart. The lawn.
Oh, you get it paid off, and then you got to buy another one.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, we're not. It's not like we're paying monthly for it or whatever. We paid for everything, and we did it like you. Like how many mows did we have to pay for in order to pay this? For this to pay itself, right? So it's like breaking down, and I really haven't taken care of it. I really haven't taken care of it.
That's the kind of equipment I want. I just want to use it. I want to burn it.
Just beat the hell out of it.
Yeah, put it away. Give me something that's what I love. Like these industrial and I'm gonna curse myself. These industrial pressure pumps that I have for the car wash, man. You just put oil in them. And there's oil and there's a belt. That's it, man. Just let them rip, So
where
did you?
It's falling apart.
But did you actually? Did you? So you got rid of the guy, and now for 5 years you've mowed the lawn on your mowing mower yourself.
Yeah, yeah, and actually, I rather enjoy it. It's fun. It's actually fun. It's like a couple hours where I'm like, this. I can't do anything else. I'm stuck doing this. I'm gonna put my podcast on. I'm gonna listen to it, or just put some music on, and it's rather enjoyable. It's great. Now with the pallet building and everything, what we've created is a weed whacking disaster.
Yeah, you can't roll that riding mower over that.
No. And we like put a fence in, and it was like, and now like the weed whacking takes as long as the mowing does. So it's like if I do everything, edging, weed whacking, mowing, and then I gotta like clean my fence off sometimes. It's like 4 hours. It's 4 hours to do
it. Week.
Not a week. No. I usually, I mean, the neighbors might get mad, but
you let it slack. Yeah.
I let it go a little bit.
Right.
But I always find it really fun, and I did it this past weekend. Yeah, it's okay. It's fun.
All right.
Yeah. And then I could come in and be like, "Oh, I worked so hard."
That's true. Yeah.
Because
the bonus points. Yeah. Right.
Yes.
Right. There you go. All right.
Nobody else does it in my house. So.
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever shared this. There was a time in my life that it was determined that I owed a little debt to society, and I had to show up some volunteer work, and and the company had a massive backyard, and I did my grunt work so well that one day they offered, "Hey, do you want to mow the lawn?" And I was like, I'll do whatever you want me to do. I just need these signatures and I need these hours done. And he was like, well, there's a riding mower that you're probably trustworthy. He was like, we wouldn't let most people, but you do pretty well. I was like, oh, riding mower, you say? And let me tell you, never has a lawn been mowed slower than when I was on that riding mower. And from that point on, I was their lawnmower for the duration of the hours that I needed to.
Oh, that's good. That's
get
good.
fulfilled. So that's another reason why I won't be riding on a riding mower, whatever the right word is. And I will not revisit that time in my life. I have reformed myself.
It brings up bad memories, huh?
Yeah. Well, between the time that it takes, you got to give up the consistent 4 hours. You got to buy the mower, and then I got to swim through bad memories. No thanks. I'll pay the guy.
It's that is, I've been talking a lot. It sounded like my one thing, but my one thing is months ago, actually probably a year and a half ago, we did like a what is your resolution, your New Year's resolution?
Right.
And mine is always like, oh, I want to get into better shape.
Right.
So
that's all this. Yeah.
For this trip, I think I actually told you too. Like I was like, I'm gonna get into really great shape for this trip. And now this trip is a week away, and I am worse than I was.
Oh no.
And maybe I'm getting older. I'm doing things that I thought that have worked for me in the past, but they don't work for me anymore. I'm getting to a point where I'm like, maybe I should just accept who I am.
I'm just this
love
guy,
myself.
Yeah. Right.
Just love myself. This is who I am. But it's not who I am, because I'm actually bigger than I have ever been in my life.
All right. Well, so I could tell you, we will not be getting up for any jogs. You might be, but we will not be while you're here.
Yeah, I don't plan on doing that.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's the issue. I actually went and the one thing that I haven't been doing is swimming. So, and there's a pool in my backyard, but you can't really swim in the pool.
Dude, like you'd be like one stroke lap. Yeah. I mean,
it'd be like this and just be going like
yeah.
I did join a gym that has a pool. So I started to swim, and man, I just love, that's like my favorite exercise.
Oh, smart. Yeah.
Yeah. Is swimming. So, and it's easier on your joints and everything. So like I jogged, I jog occasionally and stuff like that, but I jogged and my back like started to hurt.
Yeah.
so I couldn't, I was like, I got to do something different. And so I started swimming again, and it's so peaceful and nice and wonderful. I just like it so much. And it's actually
very encouraging here, right?
Yes. Yes. Old
nice,
man.
right? Good day to you too, sir.
So I'm doing all the things that I was like, oh, I'm gonna get ready for this trip within the final 2 weeks before I leave.
I'm gonna get shredded for why was your goal? You planning on not having your shirt on or something? You got to show off? What are you doing?
No, here's the deal. So I go on vacation, and I really like to, it's a little excessive.
Oh, I see. Yeah, you build yourself a little cushion to cut loose.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't want to go and eat and have drinks and stuff like that and feel like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this.
Right.
So you got to get yourself into a position where you feel good about yourself, where you can go, yeah, I can cut loose a little.
I've earned it. Yeah. Well, all right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I thought maybe you had like a old flame in Chicago or something you were going to have to try and impress or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, no.
I didn't figure that was I don't know. Everybody's lifestyle is their own. That's okay. Yeah.
There is a guy in Chicago, not an old flame. It's a guy in Chicago. He's a friend of mine. He's my thinnest friend.
I thought that was me by far. I figured everybody's
I was going to
spraying.
say, and then I'm going to go see you. So if there's any pictures that are going to be taken, it's going to be kind of ridiculous.
I'll stand closer to the camera. You just stand further.
Yes, I stand back.
It'll be like a fishing picture where you hold the fish up really close and it looks huge, you know?
I should just lean into this though. I should just be, I'm a big burly guy. That's what I should do, right?
Yeah, or we could just have a series of like us arm wrestling and I'm like winning. Yeah, could go for some some wrestling, figure four, a little suplex on Joe.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I got to figure something out, but not before the trip. I'm gonna enjoy.
Yeah,
this
don't
trip.
do like the wrestling, like the collegiate, like the high school wrestlers where they're like lose. Like don't cut weight in the next few days.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
Because you do have to be able to hang. Like we're gonna have a good time when you're here. So you be in good form.
Yeah, and it's funny. Like I was like, what? I was in the hospital there for a little bit, and all I had was like a liquid diet. I lost like 35 pounds.
Yeah, you got right in
like
shape.
10 days, and I was like, maybe I should go and do that again.
I was gonna say, what organ you got that you can just get rid of? What's your spare? You got I think people do without their that was your appendix, right?
Yeah, I think spleen.
Gallbladder? I think people get the gallbladders out.
Yeah.
Time to cough it up, Joe. Get it out of there.
Interesting. Something to think about.
I think you're cutting it too close, so you're gonna have to do it post-trip. The gallbladder sacrifice is next trip.
Yeah, I think a lot of times what I'll do is I fluctuate. So a lot of times what I do is I hit like a rock bottom. And I don't mean to make light of addiction or anything, but I hit like a rock bottom with my weight, and I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I can't even get around easy. I can't put my socks on anymore. So then I really hunker down and I go, okay, I got to change that.
All right.
I mean, we'll see what happens.
Well, if I were there, I would recommend that we would go cycling. What you were talking about swimming that's how I feel about cycling. It's less jarring on the body, but good cardio. And you kind of, what you were talking about swimming, peaceful, man. I just feel free when I'm on a bike, man. I know that sounds
it's a good feeling. No, it is a good feeling.
I like it, man. I like it. So my son has surgery on his mouth today, so I got a hard stop and no overtime today. We gotta get to brass tacks here.
Okay.
I got I had a couple experiences this week that really made me think, and I was really these actually, they sound like they were sad experiences. They're really not. They're actually really inspired me, and I don't think it gets talked about enough, and that is the topic of men's mental health. And the conversations obviously I have to keep private because they're challenging conversations, but I was wildly impressed and thankful that first somebody would trust me to contact me, and these aren't strangers, these are friends. So like, I'm not saying that I could be or that I should be anybody's therapist. I'm saying everybody should have somebody that they can open up to. And if people hear nothing else, that it's okay to open up to people. I think, and this isn't to leave women out of the conversation whatsoever, because ultimately I think everybody needs connection. And that's really like my ultimate thought this morning is, even for me, this show is an amazing piece of connection, both with the audience, both with you, Joe, especially in a world where I don't work with many other people. I consult remotely. I went from working and leading a team of sometimes hundreds of people to me and snakes. So I feel that disconnect sometimes. So this is a really cool scenario for me. What I think a lot of men go through is us feeling like we have to provide, we have to can't show any weakness, we have to be the tough rock of everything, and that could get heavy. And look, I'm not complaining. I think let me make clear. I'm self-aware that I was born to a middle class, two loving parents, white guy in America, straight. I probably have it easier than 99% of the people in the world. So this is not me. I'm aware of that. But everybody's always going through something. And I always also believe that. So, some of the stresses that we put on ourselves, and now I'm going to leave the men part out of it, just everybody, the stresses that we put on ourselves to provide for our families, provide for ourselves. There was, and what really helped was, I find just having somebody that can let all that out, because really, like, when you talk through stuff and you hear yourself say it, you start to realize, like, oh yeah, I just had a moment, and yeah, it's tough, but everything's going to be okay. Usually when you can talk through things, or somebody has an aha moment, or you get so hyper focused on the anxiety that you don't see the antidote, so to speak, sitting right there. But a few interesting things came up where, like, somebody is feeling so much stress, or they're actually feeling anxiety of, like, guilt because they're actually doing very, very well and they don't feel fulfilled or happy. They're like, well, it would make sense if everything sucked and I felt bad. That's what you're supposed to feel. He's like, I don't get it. He's like, this stuff is exceeding my wildest dreams, and I'm just not I'm not happy at all. And that, and I told the person, I said, I'm amazed and so thankful that you're willing to pick up a phone and just to talk through stuff, because most of us, and myself, and most of my life, you can't, I always felt like you can't show weak. I'm in a competitive world of crazy world of restaurants. I know it sounds crazy to say that's competitive, but it is. You can't go, hey, I'm having a rough go, I need a few minutes, I need to chat with somebody. Like, you're going to get run over and eaten alive in the culture of a lot of kitchens, certainly for most of my career, and or the early part of my career. So anyway, I thought I would bring it up. And again, I cannot be like everybody's open line for this kind of stuff, but everybody should have somebody they connect with. And I think that most people would be amazed at how much deeper that connection can become, and how much relief and better you feel when you do let that stuff out and you do say, here's what I'm going through. And the other person goes, man, I get it. I sit there in bed and I think about this stuff. And you're like, oh, you too? Yeah. Okay. Well, what do you do? Yeah, okay. Here's how I do, And so there was a couple scenarios like that. And it just got me thinking that I don't know that it's acknowledged enough publicly. And I think it should be.
Yeah. So many things that you just said, I resonate with, definitely. I mean, one of the things that I did a long time ago, I was going through a rough period in my life. I was like a practicing Catholic at the time, and I went on a silent retreat, which is such a, and even now, like, I'm kind of like, I feel vulnerable, like, talking about about it, but why? Why would I? Because it was one of the greatest experiences of my life. I did it multiple times. It was incredible. I met, and the person that was guiding me through it was this terrific nun who we had conversations once a day, and then I was just by myself, like, working through some stuff. And during that time, I read this book called The Hearts of Men by Barbara Ehrenreich. And this book is about, it's an old book. It came out, I think, in '83. So like, a lot of it it's dated. But one of the things that it made me realize was that throughout the 20th century, the latter part of the 20th century anyway, she talks about all of these movements of men who are kind of trying to break out of the the construct of what it means to be a man.
Yeah.
That there have always been movements of men who have been dissatisfied, who are trying to do something different, who are trying to think differently about being playing into the breadwinner role in the family, or being kind of like an aggressive person, or being competitive, but there's always been these movements. And what it did for me, and you're saying connect with other people, even reading that, it made me realize like, wow, okay, I'm not alone in my dissatisfaction of who I am supposed to be,
Yeah.
of who I am supposed to be. So, and that's been a thread throughout my life too. I mean, I think about how my main thing is I want to be kind to people. Like, I just want to be kind to people. I want to be nice to people. I want to be
good dude.
soft.
Yeah.
I like being a gentle person, and I even like even the way I'm talking about it now is like, I'm like giggling about it. And it makes me like, feel like that's not a cool man thing to do.
No, it can be super vulnerable, because we like the internet is like the new age of the firing squad, all right, let me just walk out there and see how that goes. Yeah.
And every time I talk about this too, I always want to like create a caveat, like, but I also do this, and I'm also tough, and like
I also
like,
bang
whatever.
pallets in the yard. Yeah.
Right. I got a drill and an axe, and
Right.
Whatever. So, but I think you're exactly right. Anything that draws you out of thinking that you are alone in the way that you are thinking is going to be helpful. And so, talking about it, making sure that you're talking about how you feel, and how there's another great, if we're talking about men's mental health, there's another great sociologist, Michael Kimmel, who talks about there's always been two types of histories of men, which is the history of who men actually are and how they behave in the world, the history, looking at that history. And then there's the history of the ideal man, the history of the man that we are all supposed to live up to. And nobody is ever that way, right? Nobody is ever makes it to that point. So actually, to be, and I know, I mean, it's funny because talking about this is hard, because you don't want to be like, it's what you started off saying this. You started saying that you started by saying, but I'm a straight white guy. I have it easy.
Is it okay to complain?
There's not
I feel like guilt even complaining. Yeah. Like I literally must have it easier than all beings in the universe. And here I am going, oh, it's a tough day. Oh, shut up, Adam.
But the thing is, like, the thing is that it's our feeling, it's us feeling deficient. It's us feeling like we're not living up to that ideal. We're not living, like, it's like saying, like, we're supposed to be breadwinners. We're supposed to be tough. We're supposed to be competitive, and we need to be competitive and tough and aggressive in this world in order for us to get ahead. And it's us saying, like, first of all, probably all other, if you want to put in all other categories, right? All other categories of people, they'll probably go, we don't like those aggressive, violent, competitive guys. But also, I don't like it. I don't even like this shit.
Right.
Like, I'm the guy that's supposed to be that way. I don't even like it. I don't want it. So it's kind of like saying, we should all be in this together. Let's stop making let's stop making anybody feel that they should be a certain ideal way. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that standard. And let's just try and be ourselves, which is, I don't know.
Hard,
you can't,
right?
Yeah, it's really hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard. And sometimes it's more difficult to go against the ideal, to go against the standard, than it is to live up to that standard. I can put on a front of bullshit and go, I'm tough and blah, 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 the live long day. What's really hard is for me to go and be kind and be forgiving and to be loving as and not only a straight white guy, but a large straight white guy.
Where are your muscles, Joe? You're laying the world down. Yeah.
I don't know. So I have a lot. I mean, you started and I started to go, but I have a lot. I have a lot of thinking behind this. Yeah.
My father-in-law annually every year goes to one of those silent retreats, and I don't want to misstate. I mean, he's absolutely a practicing Catholic. I don't want to misstate the denomination and that sort of thing, and I don't know the details of it, but he goes without exception to. I mean, for as long as I've known him, which is unbelievably coming up on like 17 years now, but apparently long before that as well, he would always go to those silent retreats. So he still lives, finds incredible value, and he is one of the smartest, kindest people that I know for sure. But I think people can like have these like really specific things that get us as well. So like, sure, there's this overall, and I don't even like to say it's what society puts on us. It's what we accept from, like, it's what we put on ourselves. Like in this day and age, we know we don't have to follow society. Like there of any time in history, we could probably buck society easier now than ever. So, and I feel like that's a little bit of an accountability part for myself, at least. But then there's like really specific things. Like sometimes people are like, this isn't about society or how I see myself. Like, I'm stuck in this role and I hate what I'm doing. Oh, okay. That's a problem. And like, I really resonated with that because there's times that I love what I'm doing, but there's times where I go, I had a really good job that paid. Looking at now how hard I work for my money, it paid really well. So I struggle with like explaining to myself, and again, this is self-imposed. Kelly has never once said to me, well, hey, if you're going to do this, you better not screw it up and you better figure out how to make all that money. Like, but in my mind, that's what I hear. And for the record, I've yet to make that level of money. I'll maybe flirt with it this year, maybe. So like I wrestle with some of that. Like, what am I doing? Is this fair to my family? Is this just being selfish? There was that money there. Like I could have just taken that and figured out how to be happy. But I also have to go back to remembering like, and the 4th of July reminds me of this. Yeah. I remember thinking to myself, now Charlie would have been 7, 8, or 9 when I started having these. So I've never once watched the fireworks with my son because I'm always working. And I remember growing up, the 4th of July being like one of my favorite holidays. You go to the lake, you go see you're cooking out, you're having fun. I used to do this stupid thing. Like every time it would boom, I was pretending like I was like a soldier that like they were like, which is what the fireworks are about. Like they're about their representation of bombs and war going. I was like, I'm in a war and these bombs, like it was just a stupid game I played in my head, but I remember enjoying it. And, so anyway, now I really love the 4th of July because that was always our busiest week of the year. I didn't see my family the whole 4th of July. And a lot of times Kelly and Charlie would just come to Minnesota they would just be like, well, we'll see you when we get back. And so now I really love, enjoying the 4th of July because I'm not working and I'm not doing that stuff. So it's these constant trade-offs, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Troy brings up a great point. Everybody is going through something.
Yeah.
And it could seem as minuscule as figuring out how to keep a car wash afloat when you get a new bill now, and this guy wants a lot of money to cut grass and it just has to get done. Or it could be as big as cancer or existential dread or guilt that, you know, things are going so well and they still feel this like unfulfillment. That's all serious stuff, you know?
Yeah, and like it takes being it takes opening up really to get conversations going, and it takes being vulnerable to get this kind to see those types of connections, I think sometimes. And that's really hard because you're throwing something out there that you don't know if it's going to be reciprocated, but
Right.
9 times out of 10 it's reciprocated. If I start to open up and just go, oh yeah, yeah, this is how I'm feeling. I don't. Usually, there's something that the other person identifies with.
Hmm.
You and maybe they don't, and it's not that they don't identify with it. It's that they don't want to be vulnerable with it. So even if you do open up, you might be helping them to understand, like, everybody's going through something, and to find that person, to find somebody who you can hash that out with.
Yeah.
I did like there's something yeah, there's something that I did, in my life where I'm like, yeah, I shouldn't have done that, or I feel like really guilty about it, and I feel really terrible. And when I talk about it with people, it's amazing how many other people, have had that same
Yeah.
experience.
They're like, yeah,
Yeah, it's
that
like,
happens. Yeah.
come on. It's like, yeah. And it's not like giving you an excuse to,
Right.
to go, yeah, I should do that type of
Let
thing
me go do
again.
that again. Right.
Yeah, right. But it is saying, like, stop, you're human. You're human. It's okay. You don't have to be this every time you fail at being the ideal doesn't have to be, the worst thing in the world,
Oh,
because oftentimes the ideal is completely out of our reach.
yeah, how awful is perfect as like the enemy of good? And I know that that's a
Yeah.
easy cliche, but I
Hmm.
hear it all the time. Oh, I wasn't essentially we're saying, "Oh, I wasn't perfect, so it sucked." What
Yeah.
about the 99%? What about just like getting going? What about just putting yourself out there and seeing what it's all about, So
Yeah.
I yeah, there's that too. Yeah, don't let perfect get in the way of all the other good, man. That's for sure. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
so I can't claim that there's solutions to everything, but I do think people felt better. And one of the aha moments that I got to, um, when I was talking to one of the people, they really made a point very graciously to really thank me for hearing them out and picking up the phone and that stuff. And I had to say, it makes me feel better not to know that other people are going through crap. That's not what I wish for. But it makes me feel better to realize that we all have this stuff going on. And if I could be
Yeah.
a little bit of a help or a little bit of a light, it actually made me feel better. And it encourages me, even along what I just said with not letting perfection get in the way of doing good. It makes me want to set a good standard as like I really believe even in my professional career, I like the idea that good teachers are really good operators. So if you're taking the time to teach, you're probably holding yourself to a really high standard, because otherwise you look like a hypocrite. You can't teach somebody to do something one way and then go do it. And you're not going to teach them, if you're not going to actively teach them the bad way to do it. So,
Hmm.
and I saw it in that sort of light. Like if I'm going to give advice or thoughts,
Hmm.
I need to hear that advice and that thought sometimes as well.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Oh yeah.
that was
Yeah.
so it was fulfilling to me as well. Now, there's other times where I feel totally helpless and I'm not the right guy for that conversation for that person. I don't know how to define that. And I certainly don't want to leave somebody hanging when they're struggling. But sometimes they've got to find somebody. The best thing I could say is I can hear you out, but I have no I could sympathize, but I don't have the ability to empathize with exactly what you're going through. And there's other
Yeah.
people where I'm like, oh my gosh, I get it. There are people that I click with, and we sort of figure it out mutually, And that's a
Yeah.
hard thing as well, where you're like, man, you feel helpless. That sucks too. I don't like feeling helpless, but I can't change
Yeah.
the cure of the world.
Right. Yeah. 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 I think. I think one of the things when I was a hospice chaplain is, I've never
Oh,
gone through dying, right?
had to be a helpless feeling
Like,
constantly.
how
Oh
am I
my
going to
God.
help this person? So, so, and I was young. I was very young, but somebody said something to me. This is a ministry of presence. It's a ministry of presence. Just be present to them. Just be present, and that's the best you can do in that situation because you haven't dealt with going through dying. You
Ooh,
haven't been.
you haven't
Uh,
died yet. Yeah.
yeah, you haven't. You haven't been diagnosed with a terminal illness yet.
Yeah.
So it was about being present, and I think if we're present to each other, that's enough.
Yeah.
That is enough. I mean, there is like this age-old cliche too about men and women, and I try and stay away from that kind of thing. But like, I know like sometimes when when Chelsea talks to me, and I'm like, well, how do I fix this? How do we fix this? How
Right.
do
Yeah.
we?
Let's
And
put an end
really,
to this complaining and fix this.
yeah,
No, they don't,
and
that's not what
really,
people want. Yeah.
it's just about being present and
That's right.
opening your ears and trying to understand. That's it. That's all. You
Yeah.
don't have to fix anything. So sometimes that's just enough. Sometimes that's just enough.
That's true.
And I mean, but it comes with this vulnerability. I mean, if you're okay to be vulnerable with people, I think the problems that you have, uh, you know, uh, are going to be aired a little bit more, and you might feel less alone. So I think sometimes that's what gets in the way of that.
Yeah. I think we can, I think a missing piece a lot of times too is like checking in on each other before there's a problem. Hey,
Oh, okay, yeah,
how's
yeah,
it going? You doing all right?
yeah,
And then it's not always the dread. Maybe it's, hey, things are great. And at least you can look back and go, well, now there's ups and downs versus just the downs,
yeah,
like
yeah.
we shouldn't wait till it's just not good. And I think at the risk of sounding like an old man, these days, everything is in text or everything is in there's very little nuance. There's not a deep conversations.
Hmm.
And that's the world we live in. And sometimes that's good. There's people I don't want to have deep conversations with. I hope they're doing okay, but that's not what I want sometimes. But I think that's been lost a little bit. I thought it was interesting that, and I can't cite who or what study this was from, but some people study the effects of alcohol on people, and really the determination has come that there's really not a healthy amount. There's not really a good need to have alcohol, really at all.
Yeah.
And from a total biological standpoint, but there was one caveat in the study that said the connection of a moderate happy hour and actually going to interact with
Hmm.
people and the de-stress actually outweighs that benefit actually outweighs the negative of a reasonable amount of alcohol. And I thought like that's just saying connection. That's just saying go be with people, go
Right. Yeah.
lose the stress, go see what other people are going through, go celebrate with other people, go all those things.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a really a neat detail in that study. And it was, I mean, it literally, it was in maybe Journal of American Medicine or, AMA or whatever it is. But I thought that was a neat, a very important part that I think we just get disconnected,
Yeah. 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 I mean, I have this quote in my head from this philosopher R.A. Marcus that talks about just talking to people. You recognize that it draws you out of your isolation because you recognize that you're a part of a community of people that understand each other. Like even now, like the way that we talk to each other, we're connected because you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth. It draws us out of it draws us out of our isolation,
Yeah.
and it makes us transcendent beings because because we're not just alone, we're communicating with each other. Just simply communicating in each other will remind us that we are more than just this body. We are more than just sitting at home with our own problems. We are, if we just talk to each other, we transcend just this body of senses. I always like that. I always like that. It's it makes it easy to think of yourself as so much more than who you think you are.
It's funny how simple sometimes the biggest like ahas are. Just
right.
Talk to people. And I know I keep going, I'm probably making too much of it, but it felt like a big landmark for me when I was talking to the police officer, because like literally the town is 4,900 people. So like he's probably one of, I don't know, a couple officers. I really don't know. But there he was. And I'm sure in his mind, he didn't ask me point blank, but I'm sure in his mind, he's going, so this guy just has a car wash and then breeds snakes in, like, I'm sure in his mind, he was going like, who is this guy? And there I was going, yeah, like this weird twinkle in my eye. And I also like, there's that whole other level of, and this is probably not something I want to get into whatsoever, other than just a human to human level. There's a whole other idea of, I'm sure every new person that a police officer meets, they have to go in their head. Mm-hmm. Does this person hate me? Does this person adore me? Does this and the reality, you know what I mean? And I'm sure that there's, people of color. I'm sure there's people of all sorts of different walks of life who go, yeah, I think that every day. And so like, I was thinking of that too, where I'm like, this is cool. This is just two people sitting there talking. I'm trying, cause I was asking him like, well, okay, this emergency contact, that's kind of, what do you like? You need a set of keys. He's like, no, we don't do that. And I'm like, okay. And then, I asked him, hey, if there's somebody I really don't want back, what's the legal way to do that? And if somebody's trespassing or dumping or whatever. And it just led to a good conversation. It was just like two adult strangers meeting each other and having interesting stories to
Isn't
compare,
that funny?
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? I mean, just simply talking to someone else, somebody new, how expansive your mind is to be able to have that brief interaction, and then your mind opens up to all different places that are not even talked about in that conversation. But you're thinking, he's probably, oh, the snake guy I've heard about. Okay, let me, and then he sees it, and he's probably like, yeah, that's all right, it's good, And then you're thinking about being a police officer, law enforcement. Just simply talking to each other expands your mind, expands your brain to think about different things. So that's such a great interaction there.
And I think there were like layers of like, I wouldn't say tension, but like some of what we just talked about, I realized he definitely was making a point of staying in the parking lot, because in his current role, he legally can't say, hey, can I come in and take a look around? So I had to offer it to him. And then it turns out he was very excited to come take a look around, and
testing spirits. Yes.
Yeah. So, and he was very nice and forthright. Yeah. Hey, you're going to get something in the mail about that lawn. All right. Sounds good. Fair enough. I'll take care of it. So it felt like a moment of stepping into the community where I'd been kind of undercover and hiding a little bit along the way. So that felt good. Like, cause like you said, we all just want to be who we are,
Yeah. And it makes you, when you talk about people, especially this is what I always say, when you are around people who are different from you, you learn more about yourself.
Travel and food and everything, right? Like that.
When you're around people who are different from you, you learn more about yourself. You learn who you are when you're around people who are different from you. But that takes courage. It takes vulnerability. It takes being out there, and it takes these types of interactions, some reflection to get to that, I think.
Yeah. Well, guys, like I said, I have to go. I got a procedure. Charlie's fine. It's an oral surgery removal, and he broke his teeth, and he broke them good. Like he busted them out. It was 2 years ago.
Okay.
So we've done everything to save him. It's time for to quote Michael Myers, and somewhere in, I don't know, what's the fake James Bond dude he did? Austin Powers. We've gone through preparations A through G. It's time for it's time for the last one. So thanks, guys. Find someone to connect with. Thank you all for the connection, Joe. Thank you as always for the connection.
Always, it's great.
We'll do it again. Do it again, same time, same place next week. I hope you have a good week, man.
You too.